Be grateful you are not married, says Abby.
I learned something a while back, and I can't remember what emotion it specifically cancels out, but apparently when you feel grateful or when you express gratitude, it cancels out negative emotions like anxiety. Like you can't feel them the same way. You can't feel them at the same time. So, in my single era, as 30 looms over me and approaches me, I'm trying to be more grateful for my years and years and years of being single. And I was recently reminded of a reason why I'm grateful that I'm not married right now after seeing something really heartbreaking on social media.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yep. So this all has to do with something that data and crime data and the FBI has proven over the years. And it's that statistically, your spouse is the most likely person to kill you.
Oh,
That is fact.
That makes sense.
It's not very romantic. And before I get into this true crime feeling type story, I want to give a content warning for domestic violence because this is a pretty graphic story. And if you or somebody you know is experiencing domestic violence, you can contact the National Domestic Violence Hotline by texting LOVE IS to the number 22522. So this story all takes place in Hawaii with this doctor, this anesthesiologist named Gerhard Koenig and his wife Ariel, who's like a fancy engineer or something. Like this is a power couple out in Hawaii.
You live in Hawaii, one of the most beautiful places on the earth. How do you get so mad you want to kill somebody?
Let's find out, Kristen.
Yeah, it has to do with your partner. It doesn't matter where you go.
Yes. No amount of money apparently can make you happy because reports are coming out that they lived in like $1 million home in Hawaii. They have these 2 kids. And ever since this story came out, people have been talking about their experience with this couple, saying like, we had no idea. These people were really happy as far as we could tell. So this anesthesiologist is currently facing murder charges for allegedly trying to kill his wife, and he's pleading not guilty. So his wife Ariel's birthday comes around, and he ends up making this entire trip for her birthday. They're going to go to Oahu, and they're going to go see the ocean and hang out and do all the things you're going to do on a birthday trip. So then he takes her up on a hiking trail, which, of course, this is where things are not.
Okay.
Wow, what could go wrong on a hiking trail?
If your relationship isn't at a 10, with 10 being the best ever, and they invite you to go on a secluded hiking trail, don't go unless you're at least a 7 or above.
And make sure you don't walk to the edge to take a photo.
Right.
You're not getting close to any edges to take any photos.
Wow, Kristen, it's almost as if that's what happens in the story.
Shut
Here we
up.
go.
So then he takes her to the top of the cliff, and he's like, hey, babe, let's get a photo to commemorate your birthday or whatever. And I guess she starts to feel a little dizzy and is like, I don't really want to do that. And then when they got close and she refused, apparently he grabbed her by her upper arms and started pushing her back towards the cliff edge. He was yelling something to the effect of, get back over there, I'm so bleeping sick of you, and then continued to try and push her. So then she flops to the ground. She's screaming and she's pleading with him to stop, asking him to think about their children because they have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old together. Wow. She's like, if I had fallen off that cliff, it would have been over. So then and we're assuming, because he's an anesthesiologist, he has 2 syringes. She is saying that he had 2 syringes, but we can assume this is some kind of sedative or some kind of medical thing that was going to be used for nefarious purposes. She said that then he got 2 syringes. She tries to throw them off the cliff, tries to get them away. When that didn't work, then he he smashed her head in with a rock.
Jesus.
Continues to go in, but then this is when her saviors come to play. 2 women were also hiking at the same time, and the
Thank
wife,
God.
Literally perfect timing.
And God put them in the right place at the right time.
Exactly. And so, of course, very jarring for the women, but Ariel, the wife, is screaming, he is trying to kill me. And so that's when he ends up running off. And there was a 6-hour manhunt to try and find this dude. Allegedly, after all of that happened, he had called his older adult son he had from a previous marriage and said that he had tried to kill his wife. This is alleged. This is alleged from what the reports are saying, that he called his adult son, said, I tried to kill my wife, didn't work, and now I'm going to take my own life as a result. That doesn't end up happening. They end up finding him, put him in jail, and he is now pleading not guilty. But here's the weird part. His lawyer came out with a statement that says there are two sides to every story, and thus far only one has been shared. The other side to the story will be shared within the court process at the appropriate time. I'm sorry. I don't care what the other side of the story is. You shouldn't try and off your wife on a cliff in Hawaii on her birthday.
You know, that's good advice, Abby.
I think that's fair, Abby.
You
Socrates,
really become
Aristotle, Abby Murphy.
Man, the wisdom is crazy.
Let's not kill your wife on her birthday.
Yeah, no, every true crime podcast, documentary I watch, whenever I'm watching like the first 48, the first person of interest is always the spouse, whether it's the husband or the wife, the boyfriend of the girlfriend. Because the statistics are if a murder happens, it's typically somebody close to you that knows you. It's not a stranger.
I don't know.
Feel like you can never tell. Like, that's the scary thing is the partner will always seem like straight and narrow, like nothing's wrong with him completely, and then be a monster the whole time.
I don't know a lot about marriages breaking up, but I can't imagine divorce is worse than murder. What happened to just divorce?
You know what?
You know what I mean?
I got some experience in this area. Let me ask you guys this question here. Okay, random. It doesn't have to be your significant other. Is there somebody in your life that there's a 10% chance that if they tried to take you out in a certain way, you'd be like, oh, you know what? I saw that coming.
Take us out?
Yeah, like take you out. Is there anybody, any friend, any third tier friend or fourth tier friend that you think if the opportunity happened, they might do some damage?
That's
Look at Abby's face.
Oh, yeah.
Like that still communicates with you?
Doesn't necessarily have to be still communicating with you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You do?
Yeah.
All right.
Not because I did anything to warrant it. I don't deserve it, but yeah, I can see it.
You?
I can think of one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I can think of 4. Right off the bat. They might team up together, man.
Like the Avengers?
You saw him with a knife at the door, you'd go,
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I'd be like, I was wondering when you're going to show up.
Why did it take us so long?
The Bert Show.